The jury in the Lindsay Clancy trial should expect a bit of a longer day in court today after they were sent home early for a second day yesterday. Clancy is on trial in the 2023 murder of her 3 children. Her defense argues that Clancy was suffering from a temporary psychotic episode and is therefore not criminally responsible. Her lawyers claim she suffered from undiagnosed bipolar disorder and postpartum psychosis, made worse by being prescribed 13 different medications in a short period of time.
The prosecution says the murders were premeditated, arguing while Clancy was suffering from severe anxiety and depression, there was no clinical evidence of psychosis. However, a hospital chaplain who first saw Clancy the day after the murders says Clancy told her about voices she was hearing in her head.
She alluded to having heard a voice, and the voice, according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
4 more witnesses will testify today, and then closing arguments are expected early next week.
All right, joining us now, our chief analyst, Colleen Rhodes, to break this down. What they continue to try to hit is whether or not she was suffering from this postpartum psychosis. Khalif, can you explain for people who may not understand, and I think you touched on this yesterday, it's not a matter of whether or not she committed the crime, it's whether or not the psychosis was there and whether or not she was it mentally fit at the time?
Well, yeah, it's do you have an ability to appreciate the wrongfulness of your actions? That's what it boils down to. And the doctor that saw her immediately after this for a number of hours, he spent more than 35 hours, that's who testified yesterday. He says that she has no appreciation for the wrongfulness of her actions. Prosecutors attempted to come back a number of times with questions basically directed at, well, how can she do normal behavior, normal activities like playing with their kids, taking them to the doctors, playing with them in the snow and a number of things like that. The doctor came back and said, well, psychosis, doing normal activities doesn't rule out psychosis. A person that's experiencing psychosis can go in and out of those periods and appear to look normal, but still be battling with this psychosis in the background. And so a major blow to prosecution's case. Great testimony from defense yesterday with this doctor for sure.
You talk about painting a picture all the time as we get ready for these closing arguments. 1, how important is that closing argument? And then 2, so far from what you've been tracking with this case, who do you feel like has painted the better picture for the jury?
Well, I'd say a couple things, and I want to touch on Annie's question yesterday as well about timing, right? They broke yesterday early. The judge informed them that today's going to be a longer day. So the judge does an excellent job of painting pictures as well. You want to paint expectations for your juries because you don't want them to say, well, man, I got out 30 minutes today, I'll be half hour tomorrow. Maybe the next day will be like that. No, tomorrow will be a normal day because a number of things are happening in the background. We need jury instructions. We need to know what potential schedule looks like. We need to set up what closing looks like. So who do I think is painting the better picture? I think defense, as I always say, doesn't have a job to paint a picture, even though they try. They want to tell a story. Prosecution has the burden. They have to paint a picture. And I think they are not doing the best job they could at trying to paint that picture. And defense is pivoting. They're putting up a lot of smoke and mirrors that bring into doubt into this opportunity. And so I think I won't say who's painting the better picture in this scenario. It's just the prosecution is not using the things at their disposal. This is an expert that they didn't have to go out and find. This is a person that was already there. This individual, this doctor wasn't some expert that defense flew out and got. This person was already there. So you had opportunity to go over this testimony. You should have known some of the questions that they could ask to ensure that you laid the foundation for the psychosis either being there or not, and specifically her appreciating the wrongfulness of her actions. I think when listening to the questions they asked this doctor, they were really trying to attack the medical portion of it, the science behind it, the psychosis, or whether that was something that's established, as opposed to can you attack what he's saying within his notes about her specifically. I would have went that angle as opposed to the way they went. And because of that, I think the jury is not following their logic or their thought process.
And really quickly here, the prosecution doesn't have to prove a motive in here, right? And the defense just has to say there is a possibility that, hey, can you reasonably think that maybe she was going through this, right?
Well, you definitely don't have to have motive, so that's not a requirement. The standard is, are you fully satisfied and entirely convinced? That's the standard for reasonable doubt. And all you need as defense to get a not guilty, but a mistrial or a hung jury is just one. You get one person on there to say, I don't think there's enough. We're deadlocked. We can't go forward. okay, we either have to do this all over again, or they'll decide not to bring charges. What I can say in this case right now, I think we're gearing up towards that. I don't think that it will be unanimous for either one, for a not guilty or for a guilty verdict. But I do not think prosecution has met their burden of carrying it completely to the finish line, because they have not harped enough, pun intended, on trying to figure out how you can get to this psychosis argument, not the medical aspect of it, defending if it's something that's scientifically supported, or whether or not she actually was in that mindset.
A lot of eyes going to be on closing arguments next week, Khalif.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.